Hi guys, and welcome to another video. So today we have a little bit of a discussion video where I'm just going to ramble on about this one topic. This one topic being, of course, the Loch Ness Drogba, Ross Stewart. So it has become very apparent that Ross Stewart may be leaving over the next couple of days. Now, the reason I bring this up now, as a lot of you might have been made aware across social media, there's been reports suggesting that Southampton are currently in talks with him. Now, there is only, I think, a couple of days left of the transfer window, so they're going to have to do it quickly. He is also injured, and we, of course, have Southampton this weekend as well, which just happens to be a massive coincidence. But, you know, on the back of a 0-0 draw this weekend against Coventry, which, by the way, I might say that was actually a decent point. You know, and I know a few people were frustrated with it. It's always frustrating when you come away with a 0-0, but again, it just screams we need a striker. So selling Ross Stewart, being our best striker, wouldn't be wise, although he is injured. He's supposed to be back, I think, midway through next month, I believe, anyway. But my thoughts on this in general, right? So Ross Stewart has, you know, he has the ability to score 20 plus goals in this league, right? Now, he's also had a contract offer sat in front of him for a very, very long time. Now, I have stood by my thought process and my sort of motivation behind this, and I always think, regardless of how good you are, whether you're great or you're poor, if you do not want to be at this football club, then goodbye. That is it. End of story. Now, we don't know the ins and outs of the contract offer. If it is a case of we are playing cheapskates, then what are the club doing? You know, regardless of whether he's only got a year left on his contract anyway, so should we cash in on him now? If we manage to get a decent fee for Ross Stewart right now and we have a replacement ready to come in, I'm all for it personally. But here's the catch. A lot of people are saying the same thing as me. If we have an adequate being the key word, if we have an adequate replacement ready to replace Ross Stewart, they will be fine with him going. Now, here's my qualm with that word adequate. There is no magical striker that is out there readily available that's going to score us 20 plus goals in the Championship, or at least a proven striker. So it's always going to be one of those where it is going to be a gamble on a player we've likely never heard of, or a player that might not have the greatest track record. It's going to be a gamble either way. So there isn't, you know, a lot of people are acting as if there's just some striker just sat there waiting for us to go and grab. Do you know what I mean? But we're just choosing and we're electing not to go from that. We're ignoring this 20 plus goal a season striker, and we're just going, oh no, but we don't fancy it. That striker isn't there. That's why we're trying to be clever with our business. Not that I'm entirely in approval of the way we've gone with certain things, but you know, we've got this lad from Ukraine who's apparently very close to signing. However, he's also injured, so we're bringing in another forward that's injured. I don't know how far he is from full fitness. I don't know, but apparently that is the case. But with Ross Stewart, what you've got here is a lad who, you know, he's had a contract set in front of him for a long time. He hasn't signed it as of yet. He's getting to his sort of latter 20s now. So he's probably going to look for some good money somewhere. And Southampton, having the parachute money, they're going to be able to give him pretty much what he wants at this level, you would presume. And if we can cash in, you know, and he's had all these injuries as well, by the way. He's had 2 big injuries in recent seasons. If they come in, you know, with a 5-10 million offer, and I know that doesn't sound like much, I get it, but in the last 12 months of his contract, you know, regardless of how good he has been, and you know, he scored 40 odd goals in 80 games for Sunderland, which isn't a brilliant return, by the way, of course it is, but he's been injured for a huge chunk as well. So it is a difficult one. If they come in with like a £10 million offer, which if he had 4 years left on his contract and he was fully fit, I'd say not a chance. You're looking at least 20 plus million, at least. You know, that's what I'd be thinking. However, he's got less than 12 months left in his contract and he's injury prone at the moment. So would I take a 5-10 million offer at that point when he's refusing to sign for us anyway, showing a little bit of disloyalty to an extent? I would probably accept it. And I know it sounds stupid. Again, there isn't a perfect, adequate replacement. But if we get a little bit of money in from a Stewart sale over the next couple of days, and I know it sounds very, very late, but we all know and we've all seen over the years how a transfer window or a deadline day unfolds. It can be good, it can be bad. But there's so many teams that leave until the last couple of days until they can actually offload a striker or they can buy a striker because they need to know where they stand. You know, so we might say, for example, There might be a Premier League team that have a young striker which would fit our system, potentially, but then they're just not willing to let them go until they get their own striker. But the team that they're trying to get their own striker from is holding out until this ex-striker they've got in. So it's this domino effect, and it all seems to unfold when everyone's desperate on the last few days of the transfer window. Ideally, we'd do it at the beginning, but that just doesn't work out. We don't always work out. But yeah, so I do thoroughly believe that if we are to get rid of Ross Stewart, there is going to be a backup plan. Whether it comes to fruition, that remains to be seen. But I'm absolutely on the side of, if we get given a decent fee and Ross Stewart is simply not signing a contract for not signing a contract's sake, and we just can't compete with the parachute payments to Southampton, take the money and just do our best in the transfer window. And like I say, it's always going to be a gamble with whoever we go for. Whoever we go for, it's going to be a gamble. I can only repeat myself, and I am doing it because I just keep on seeing it online. People are saying, if we don't have an adequate replacement, then this is absolute rubbish. We should never get rid of him. Which, again, if we are going to just get a fit Ross Stewart and we know we're going to get 20 goals from him, then of course I don't want to see Ross Stewart go. That isn't what I'm saying. I just don't want a player at the club, and I don't have knowledge of this, but if there's a player at the club that don't want to be here and we can cash in a little bit before his contract runs out in less than a year, then I'm absolutely all for it. It's a really, really difficult one. I feel like I'm going back and forward in my head here with what I would and wouldn't do. But it's definitely going to make for an interesting comment section as well, because there isn't a perfect striker. There isn't a perfect adequate replacement sat in the waiting room somewhere, waiting for Speakman to go, oh yeah, him. It just isn't there. There isn't a 20-goal proven championship goal scorer sat there waiting for us to go grab. There might be a few little hot prospects here and there, or someone we can maybe throw a risk on, and that's what we're going to have to do at this point, because they're just not there. They're not in. It's good strikers, proven goal scorers in the championship are an incredibly short supply, and that's not to say that we can't go and get a risk on someone or take a risk on someone, and they won't score 20 plus goals, because that's it. We just, whoever they bring in and whatever happens, we just need to get behind him, and that's it. That's what I'm saying. I think I've just probably contradicted myself a million times there, guys. I do apologise for that, but yeah, again, this will make for a very, very interesting comment section, and I'm very interested to see what you guys think, because there are so many different levels to this. If we've got a replacement, would you let him go, or he's only got 12 months contract, all that kind of stuff. His injuries, it makes for an interesting discussion. And for me, again, if we have a fit Ross Stewart, and ideally, I would love Ross Stewart to get himself fit and sign himself a 4-year deal. That'd be perfect. Or a 3-year deal with a club option of 1 year. That'd be ideal. But I'm getting to the point where I just don't think that's going to happen. He's had a contract offer sat there for a very, very long time. Mowbray come out and said in a recent interview, he said, the fans can play a part in Ross Stewart wanting to stay. That doesn't sound very good to me, because what else can the Sunderland fans do? I think it's common knowledge that we all love Ross Stewart. Ideally, we want him to stay. We're singing his name all the time. Across social media, we're relentlessly posting and retweeting videos of his goals and stuff like that. What more can the fans do to keep a lad there to show that he's loved and wanted? But anyway, again, I'm rambling on here. Let me know in the comments down below what you think about the current situation with Ross Stewart. Would you let him go? Would you not? Would you just keep him at all costs? Or even if he just runs out this course of his contract with us and he might not really want to be here, what would you do? Let me know in the comments. But if you enjoyed, please hit the like button for me. It'd be massively appreciated. And subscribe to the channel if you're not already to become a fully fledged member. It's been a while. Fully fledged member of the Sarny Army. But for now, take care. Stay jammy.